Hi everybody, Megan here. Every year on a major holiday I like to make a special treat bag for the office staff at the school where I work. And for Valentine's Day this year I thought it would be fun to make a shaker treat bag. I'm going to show you how I made one of them. I used the Beep Boop birthday stamp set from Lawn Fawn, coordinating dies, and I also used the little hearts from the Stitched Journaling die set. And I used two of the stitched circles, both from the large and the small, and notice how they fit together, and that's how I made the rim for the shaker. And of course I used the goodie bag die from Lawn Fawn that you can get in the store. I also used the mini tags dies from Tailored Expressions, and the bow is a die cut that I downloaded from the Silhouette store and cut it on my Silhouette portrait machine. Now the next part, I've sped it up really fast because I didn't think you wanted to watch me score and put score tape on the goodie bag. But here I am just making sure I pre-score all of my edges, adding some 1/4 inch score tape to the flaps, and then I'm going to put it together. Here I am just adding the two together with some score tape on the base, and then I'm going to peel off the backing of the score tape and adhere all the sides for the goodie bag. Score tape is a nice strong adhesive, and then I can put a somewhat heavy treat into the bag. Now it's time to stamp the background for the shaker element. I used the 3 gear stamps from the set, and I started with the biggest one, and then the medium one, and then the smallest one to fill in any gaps that were left. It's just used a gray chalk ink. Here are the Copic colors that I used. I'm going to use the lightest first, and then the medium, and then the dark, and I will blend them by working backwards. I'm getting better about putting the caps down, but apparently not super great. Now for the base of the robot, I actually went backwards and started with the darkest color first, and that's not really what I meant to do, but you'll see how I fixed it by using the lightest color to kind of pull color away from everything. It actually worked out pretty well. Now I'm going to use one of the original sketch markers from Copic. They're square and they're super fine hard point, and it really helps to get into the small areas. I made a little ooh-ooh, so I used my white gel pen to color over it. Time to make the shaker element. I'm just removing the backing from the frame, and I'm going to adhere a piece of transparency that I cut with the largest circle die. I'm just taking off a little bit of the edge because I never seem to get them perfectly lined up. So this way I have a little bit of wiggle room. I need a little bit of dimension so that I can allow the little bits and pieces I put inside to wiggle around. So I'm using some 3D foam squares, the small ones, from Scrapbook Adhesives. And I want the robot to stay down really flat and to stay there, so I just used a little bit of Tombow Mono multi-glue to hold him down. There are the little hearts that I die cut. I die cut 2 rows of each color, and now it's time to take the backing off the foam tape and attach the front to the back, trapping those little hearts in between, and there you have it. You have a little shaker element. And I thought I was getting it really perfectly placed. I even stood up, got right over top of it, and I think I still didn't get it precisely right. But it's pretty good, so I'm going to go with it. It even looks pretty good from the side. Here's what the shaker element will look like on the front of the goodie bag. Now it's time to stamp the sentiment on the little tag. I'm using the Many Minis holiday set from Tailored Expressions, and I'm going to stamp it on that tag that you see there that I pre-die cut. Because Tailored Expressions stamps are red rubber, it's really hard to see through them to stamp them on small things like this tag. So first of all, I'm going to adhere the tag to my work surface, and then I'm going to use a stamp positioning tool, and I pre-stamp the sentiment on the acetate using a black ink so I can see it, and then I'm going to move over the acetate so that I get it perfectly lined up over the tag, bring back the stamp positioning tool, line it up, pull away the acetate, and I'm ready to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx black ink because it's a beautiful black ink for sentiments. Nice and crisp. And there you go, perfectly placed. Now I need to attach the tag to the bow, so I'm using a little bit of red and white lawn trimmings cord, and Then I will manipulate that bow and break down some more of the fibers, and I use a large glue dot right in the center and kind of line up the edges, and then fold the center portion over and adhere the back part of the center portion with a smaller glue dot. Now I'm just fluffing up the bow so it's nice and three-dimensional. I'm going to add the tag to the bow with a black clothespin. Now it's time to adhere all the elements together. I'm using my ATG glue gun to adhere the shaker element to the front of the goodie bag. The nice thing about the ATG is it does give you a few seconds there to move things around, and then I just clip the bow and tag element to the top, and there we are, ready to be filled.